Thank you for joining me. I'm Lisa Wickstead with Connections Yoga. Today's class is looking at the Yoga Sutra Asmita. Yes, Asmita is the pride, the ego. And so we're looking at how to back off of our pride and our ego, looking at ways that it impacts us in the world, and then making our way to understanding different ways that we can really look at this root cause of suffering, which is known as klesha. It's one of the 5 kleshas, and it's just a natural tendency of humans to have pride and ego, and how do we back off and balance that a little bit. There's a difference between having pride and being proud of what you do versus allowing your ego to inflate and that you brag about the things that you do and you put yourself above others. It's okay to be proud of what you do, but you don't want to push others down or oppress others to bring yourself higher, and that's the ego. That's the pride of Asmita that can get you in trouble, that can cause suffering not only for yourself but for others. We want to be humble in our experiences in the world. Okay to be proud of what we do, but in a nice, humble space. Asmita actually presents a distorted sense of the self, our reality, and can cause us to think better about ourselves above others because maybe we have a greater status, economic, our occupation, our names we're very attached to, perhaps certain accomplishments or likes or hobbies that we have, and as a result, we think ourselves better than others. That's that ego. It's very much an outer form, which contradicts the idea of ego, where we think about ourselves. It's all about me and centering just on myself, but it's the projection of the outward person. It often desires fame and power and recognition, whereas we are often afraid of losing those things, afraid of losing our job, afraid of losing our accomplishments, our economics, the control that we have in our lives, the skills that we have. And there's a natural tendency there that as we age, some of those skills will decrease a little bit. Some of our cognition will decrease a little bit. But the idea of Asmita, pride and ego, is when we grab onto things and hold on, and as a result, it causes suffering for either ourselves or for others. So in our practices of yoga and our limbs of yoga, we are trying to not cause suffering. We don't want to condescend others. We don't want to say things that we normally would not say because we're trying to save face, or we're embarrassed because we don't know something. We want to prove ourselves that we know something we don't necessarily know. We want to be humble, not modest. With Asmita, it's really important that we don't judge ourselves or compare ourselves to others or even judge others. It's not our place to judge others. When we compare ourselves or judge, what happens is we get an inflated ego. Or you can have a deflated ego, which causes suffering too. Where's the balance? If you compare yourself to others and you don't think you're as good as others, what that's going to do is bring down your self-confidence. It's going to bring you down and make you think that you're not as good as others or you're not as deserving as others. And this isn't good for Asmita. We need a healthy Asmita. So we want to find that balance where we can be content, where we can be happy, where we can be confident, but not overconfident. Now let's start to move towards ways that we can balance our Asmita to prevent suffering in ourselves and in others. When you start to look at others as a reflection of ourselves, you start to recognize the parusa, the connection of the inner light within everyone. When we say that namaste, we connect to the inner light. So starting to see others as divine has created us all alike, and each individual is a part of the divine. So we really are truly one together. That helps to invoke a sense of kindness and respect towards others, a sense of compassion and love towards others. That idea of do unto others as you would have them do to you. We want to be kind, respectful. That opens opportunities in our lives that we may not otherwise have. You want to be balanced. You want to feel not threatened so that you are not invoking harm to yourself or others, that you feel happy in life, and especially content. Content with who you are, content with where you are in your life. You want to invite a sense of self-awareness, self-observation. Notice your thoughts during the day, especially about yourself. Notice your thoughts about others. And how are you responding to others in your daily interactions? You want to give credit to others where it's deserved. So lifting others up through your support, through your words. But you want to be genuine when you do that. And then you want to challenge yourself to go beyond your comfort zone. When you have a question, don't be prideful and humble yourself. Ask questions of others. When you're in a circumstance where you want to say no, strengthen yourself and say no. Accept feedback, welcome feedback from others, constructive criticism to help you grow as a person, to improve yourself in a positive way. Learn from others. If there's others that you let me think about the best way to say this. If there's other people in your life that you feel are positive role models for you, and you want to emulate their behaviors, their interactions, how they are as a person, notice what it is about that person that makes them who they are. Learn from others. As we learn about Asmita, we want to remember that we are all connected, that you are your Purusa, your inner light of awareness, and that inner light of awareness is the same within each person to a degree. I invite you to recognize your inner light of awareness and knowledge, your inner light of knowledge, and know that that will carry you through the rest of your days, helping you to have a balanced Asmita, one that helps you to embrace the Namaste in all individuals. I hope that you have enjoyed learning a little bit about the Yoga Sutra Asmita. We'll bring our hands together to the heart center. There's that Namaste. We want to connect to the true essence of who we really are, that Purusa, so that we can focus on a clear heart mind, the Citta, and move forward with peace and connection of equality with everyone we encounter in the world. Namaste. Thank you so much for being here.